millions of Americans would already be wealthy. They work hard, they earn good money, they get promoted, and still most of them are not financially free. So what is missing? Because the problem is not effort, it is structure. You were taught that if you study hard, get a stable job, climb the ladder, you will eventually build wealth, but that formula was built for stability, not for freedom. And there is a big difference. When you rely only on salary, you are trading time for money, and time has a ceiling. No matter how talented you are, there are only 24 hours in a day, and your income depends on how many of those hours you can sell. Now let us talk about something most people ignore. Taxes. When you earn a salary, it gets taxed immediately. Federal tax, state tax, payroll deductions. Before the money even hits your account, a significant percentage is already gone. Now compare that to assets. When stocks increase in value, when real estate appreciates, when a business grows, that growth is not taxed until you sell, which means it compounds quietly year after year. Salary gets taxed first, wealth grows first, and over decades that difference becomes enormous. Now add inflation to the equation. You get a 3% raise, maybe 5. It feels like progress, but inflation keeps moving. Rent rises, groceries cost more, insurance premiums increase, healthcare gets expensive. Your income moves forward, but so does everything else. Over time, your purchasing power shrinks, even if your paycheck gets bigger, and most people never notice because it happens slowly. Now here is the core difference. Salary grows in a straight line. You work, you get paid. If you stop working, the income stops. Assets grow differently. They compound. Money makes money, and then that money makes even more money. That is exponential growth, and exponential growth always beats linear growth over time. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two people. James earns a solid salary. He gets steady raises. He upgrades his car, moves into a bigger place, takes nicer vacations. Nothing extreme, just normal lifestyle growth. Then there is Michael. He also earns a salary, but instead of upgrading everything, he invests consistently. He buys index funds. He builds small ownership stakes. He keeps his expenses controlled. After 10 years, James earns more than ever, but his expenses grew too. He feels busy. He feels stable, but he still depends on his paycheck. Michael does not look flashy, but his investments have been compounding. His assets are working in the background. After 20 years, the gap becomes obvious, not because one worked harder, but because one focused on ownership. And this is where most people get stuck. Salary feels safe, predictable, comfortable. It gives you security, but comfort can quietly become dependency. You focus on the next promotion, the next raise, the next bonus. Instead of asking a bigger question, what do I own? Society reinforces the employee mindset. Go to school, get a good job, work for decades, retire someday. But the modern economy rewards leverage. Business owners build equity, investors build capital gains, entrepreneurs build scalable systems, even high-income professionals, doctors, lawyers, corporate executives build real wealth through investments and ownership, not just their paycheck. This does not mean salary is bad. Salary is powerful. It gives you stability. It gives you starting capital. It gives you breathing room. But it is only step one. If you stop there, you limit your future. The shift happens when you stop asking, how much do I make? And start asking, what do I own? Because income pays you once. Ownership can pay you for decades, and the earlier you understand this, the more time compounding has to work for you. Wealth is rarely loud. It is slow. It is boring. It is consistent, and that is why most people miss it. They chase higher salaries but ignore higher leverage. So ask yourself honestly, are you building assets or are you only building income? Are you upgrading your lifestyle or are you upgrading your ownership? Because the difference between stable and wealthy is not effort, it is structure. And if this made you rethink how money really works, then you are exactly who this channel is for. This is Beyond Salary, where we talk about ownership, leverage, and long-term wealth. If you want to build income that does not depend only on your time, subscribe, comment below, and tell me, are you relying only on salary right now, or are you building assets too? And like this video so more people can start thinking beyond salary. We are just getting started.